I winced as my eyes adjusted to the light.
One last thing.
Huh? Haas pulled the bookcase back into position, it locking into place with an accompanying click. He then pointed to the two books, tapping their spines.
Pull these two to open it.
And to close it, I just move it back?
That's it. Oh, but here's the important thing. If you're on the other side and someone's closed it, you're stuck. No way to open it from the other side.
That's gonna come up later.
How are we supposed to keep this a secret if we're not allowed to close it?
Yeah.
What?
So
how has Haas hidden here without anyone else knowing?
Yeah, because whenever you're in, I guess no one else likes the observatory.
The conservatory. This is a room for reading, and all of these people don't know how to read. That's what I'm learning.
So what happens if I get stuck?
Well, I guess if you go missing, I'll come check here first. Otherwise, maybe just have your phone on you to call for help.
Does this get used all that often?
You know, I'm not sure. I'd assume Benson would know about this too. Whether he uses it or not, who knows?
Easy. I'll have my phone on me when I go visit it.
This isn't much of a secret passage if it's literally a fucking dungeon. You know what I mean? Like, Benson portrayed this as like, one of your friends has been there. It's a sneaky spot you wouldn't have noticed. But he's like, you can't close this door or else you get locked in. So it would be open at all times. Yeah, if anyone's in here ever, there's only one way in and one way out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is a fire hazard. What books are they? Are they thematic? Are they The Lion and the Sun?
There you go. Now, was there anything else you needed today, Dave? What, so now that I've showed you my secrets, you're done? Dude, this wasn't your secret. This was a secret of the house that you happened to claim for yourself. Back off.
Yeah, it's not your house. You just were here before. No, well, yes, but,
But what?
I kinda... Did you need a hug? I kinda want to give you a hug.
What?
Because, before, I feel like I shouldn't have pried. What?
You didn't pry. He came out and told you stuff.
Yeah. He completely out of nowhere was like, anyway, secrets, I'm bi. And I'm like, what? What? And not only that, but you, with your family? Without a word, Haas stepped forward and hugged me tight, pinning my arms to my sides. Oh. As best as I could have hugged him back, catching a whiff of something strong and tropical smelling in Haas's fur. It reminded me of the beach.
Smells like a Capri Sun. Pacific Cooler, dog.
He's a fucking 90s mascot character. It's good. Is there anything else I can do to help?
Nah, it's alright. I'll just go chill out for a bit. Maybe take a cat nap. Only he's allowed to say it. If we were to say that, it would be insensitive.
Haas let me go and wandered over to the door leading out.
See you at dinner?
Oh. Okay.
What a weird response to that, Dave. Yeah, you just be like, yeah, dude.
He was gone before I could even wave. Looking out the window, I saw that there were still some hours of sunlight left. Hours that I had to fill waiting until it was time to meet Oz. Okay, go look for one of the medallions or whatever. I made my way back to the staircase, sitting at the top of the stairs and looking down at the foyer. What a day. I thought about what to do for the rest of the afternoon. I was tired, but not tired enough to go take a nap, so maybe I just needed some sun. Wandering outside, I figured I'd splash around in the water for a little bit. Not a full swim, just enough to keep me going until dinner. I entered the pool and looked around, seeing Sal and Tyson talking to one another about something. Okay, fine, I get it.
Are you sure you do? I can run through it again if you need it.
I said I get it. You can lay off it already.
Hey, I heard you. Bill.
Should I leave you two alone, or... Shit, pup, how long have you been here? Not long, but, are you talking about something?
Nothing important.
Or like our pants on when you got here, or... Yeah, just, having a chat. I'm gonna head out. You two have fun, yeah? Oh, alright. I waved as Tyson left, turning back to Sal, who was standing by the pool. Compared to Tyson, he was still damp, so he must have been the only one swimming, as his Speedo wasn't enough to give away. As if his Speedo wasn't enough to give it away.
Dave being like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have pried, and then not learning that lesson and immediately asking the next group of people what their awkward argument was about is like peak lack of self-awareness. Just so incredible. What a great degree of emotional intelligence.
Character. So, what are you and Tyson talking about?
Nothing important. Just guy stuff.
You? Talking about guy stuff?
After yesterday, I needed to get stuff off my chest.
Oh, right. Did you get what you needed from Tyson? As far as someone listening?
He's got an interesting take on things. Mind if I talk to you about it for a bit?
Oh, sure. Should I sit, or...?
Sure. I'll jump back into the pool, though. I won't get you wet.
If we were next to each other talking, I would have somehow just ambiently moistened you.
I mean, he ambiently makes me moist, so it makes sense.
There's a lot of ambient moisture going around. I look at the sprites a lot because I'm interested in the fact that I use the symmetry tool a lot when I'm drawing. So I just noticed like the extent to which like he uses the symmetry tool for the overall silhouette and most of the details. Then he goes back and adds some non-symmetry details on top of that, like the little speckles and that little wrinkle in the middle of his chest. But then also, the shading is done, interestingly, partially in symmetry and partially out of symmetry. There are parts of the shading that look like they are perfectly identical on both sides, and then other parts of it where it looks like he did it each side individually. It's interesting to like unpack the process of making these sprites.
Yeah.
Like I noticed that Tyson's also very symmetrical, but his face, like hair spikes, were done each side separately so that they don't match. I pulled my shoes off and dipped my feet into the water. Good thing I was wearing shorts today, or I would have melted. So, stuff with Orlando, I'm guessing.
That's right.
Sal got into the pool and idly floated in place. Anything in particular you want to start with?
Well, let's see.
As far as what Tyson... Oops, sorry.
As far as what Tyson was helpful for, that part is covered.
And that was?
Not important.
I was asking about mammal anatomy. That doesn't make sense because Orlando, never mind.
What's your take on Orlando's state of mind? How do you think he's feeling?
Oh, Orlando's very emotional? I think I'd say emotional.
Kind of mean. Kind of a weird way to phrase that, Dave.
Yeah. He's very passionate, that's for sure.
That's what I thought, too. Do you think he hates me?
What? No, of course not.
You sure?
Absolutely. There's no way Orlando would hate you over something like that. Sure, he's probably still hurting, but he bounces back pretty quick.
I wasn't sure if he was just being nice or putting on a brave face.
Well, I don't know what you talked about, but,
Well, love, really. And just... And
Sal? Are you okay? You're shaking. Sal scrambled to the side of the pool, hanging off the side to rest his elbows, hands clutching his head. I scrambled over on all four.
How does one shake while not on stable ground? Can you shake in the water like that? I mean, other than being cold, like shivering.
I don't know how... Yeah, like... If he'd already braced himself, I could see how he might be, like, trembling or something.
If he's, like, standing in the pool, but this made it seem like he was swimming around.
No, I just mean, like, because he gets up on the... After it says he's shaking, he then gets up on the edge. And at that point, I could have seen how he could have been trembling or something. Mm-hmm. But before then, I was under the impression that he's just completely submerged in the water with his head sticking out. And so the most you could possibly have is like a trembling lip or something. Like and so I just can't imagine him doing anything that's especially being visible through the water that would be described as shaking.
Yeah, the trembling. Maybe he's just standing up and it's like a shallow pool, but you know, it is what it is.
Just awkwardly, like he's just like thigh deep in the water.
Yeah, thigh deep in the water. Exactly. That's exactly what I was looking at. So you
don't get wet. And he's just like in the kiddie pool, just towering out of there like a kaiju. I scrambled over on all fours, placing a hand on his arm. Sal?
Dave. He's got spooky eyes.
Yeah, the shocked eyes. I watched as Sal looked back at the ripples on the surface of the pool, silent.
I need to get out of the pool.
He scrambled out, no sense of grace in how he hauled his frame out just to lay on the ground beside the pool. Hey, well, what happened? Are you okay?
I'm okay, I promise I'll be alright.
Does that happen often? Whatever that was?
This is why I might need some help teaching Orlando to swim.
Oh, hydrophobia, right?
Right, but it doesn't happen often. I feel with Orlando, it just might. Tomorrow.
You're gonna teach him tomorrow?
No, I'll tell you tomorrow. Everything. I need your help.
Alright, sure. Whatever you need.
This conversation has been an announcement of an announcement. Tomorrow I will... Dave, can we talk? I have something important to talk to you about. What do you need to talk to me about? I'll talk to you about it tomorrow.
It's extremely video games. They're like, ah, yes, we, the creators of Mass Effect, will have an announcement in September about something. stay tuned for when we have an announcement about the thing. I'm definitely like, we have a, maybe, I don't know, maybe it's that freaked out by the hydrophobia moment or something, but I'm just like, guys, we can have conversations today, it's fine. Like, we don't need to keep postponing every interaction. We already get enough of that from the Overlord guy. So it does sometimes kind of just feel like we have to like burn through too long of a schedule. Like, oh,
it feels
fuck,
like
we have
so
30
far
days to get through.
Yeah, so far a lot of this game has been other characters booking time out on Dave's calendar. That's what it's been.
I caught Sal's gaze for the briefest of moments before he looked away, mumbling something.
We should head inside.
We exchanged about 100 words, so it's probably been about 4 hours.
4 hours.
Why did we both land on the same turn?
I'll be alright. I just need a decent shower and I'll be in a better headspace. Then dinner, then a good night's rest. I'm hydrophobic, so I must get out of the water so that I can go back in the water. Then it will be dinner time. Maybe
it's only bodies of water as opposed to moisture as a concept. Did you need some company? Like last night, I mean.
In the shower.
Dave, I was like, I'm like, Dave, are you asking if he needs company in the shower? It's a little forward, Dave.
I'll be fine, but thanks for the offer.
Sal retrieved a towel draped over the deck chairs and dried himself, keeping his gaze elsewhere. I tried my best to shake my legs dry and picked up my shoes, figuring I'd dry out properly before putting them back on. Did you want to hang out for a bit before dinner, or did you want your space?
I need some space, so no, thank you.
Sal wandered off, shoulders slumped and head hung low. I felt bad, but at least I'd know the answer tomorrow. I shook my feet dry a little more before hurrying after him, figuring I may as well hang around the room until it was time for dinner. Despite Sal being hunched over, he moved quickly, disappearing inside long before I reached the back door. I wanted to help, but if he needed space, then I'd give it to him. I'd never seen him freak out like that, though. Someone so large suddenly seeming so small was scary. I spent the rest of my afternoon on my phone in my room, thinking of ways I could help. I know you have hydrophobia, but I googled the concept of hydrophobia, and I think I know how to cure you. Don't go on your phone figuring out how to fix your friends.
WebMD your friends today.
It's funny because it's one of the few times anyone's used their phone. One of the least realistic parts of this entire game is just how infrequently anyone's using their phone in what is seemingly the modern world, let alone the obstacle posed by having everyone have cell phones in what is trying to set up like a closed mansion horror murder mystery thingy. But it is impressive how often it just doesn't come up.
Yeah.
That would explain half of why the days are going by so fast all the time. It's just Dave has ADHD and a cell phone.
He's scrolling Twitter.
Like, sorry, I looked down for a second and just fucking 5-minute crafts got me, and I just it's tomorrow now. Fuck. I entered the dining room for a dinner in a daze. For a dinner in a daze. I said that's so weird. My mind was going a mile a minute. Roswell wandered over and put a plate of pasta in front of me, much like he was with the others. I thought I was hungry, but as I got closer to the meeting with Oz, I found I had less and less of an appetite. I ate half and spent the rest of dinner playing with what was left with my fork. Dave? You alright? Huh?
You've been spacey all dinner. This isn't... Well, okay, maybe it is a little on brand for you, but not this much. You're such a piece of shit, Roswell. Fuck you.
Dave, everyone at the table can't help but notice that you're doing that thing where somebody wants to heavily telegraph to everyone that they're unhappy about something and is waiting for someone to ask. I'm fine. Maybe just tired. I scrunched up my nose, wiping my face. I feel like it's more than tiredness. You're not bottling something up again, are you?
I read that as you're not bottoming something up again, and I was like, what does that mean?
There goes Dave, just bottoming it up again. Can't help himself. No, just... I guess yesterday's just still weighing on my mind. I'll be alright.
What happened yesterday, other than Roswell being a dick to Tyson?
Yesterday, that's a complicated topic, because yesterday was like 7 bad endings, but none of them stayed, so...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, so we prevented, not Orlando, we prevented Sal from going into the freezer some night ago, and we found out about the weird dream that Orlando had, and we found out that, oh, you know what? Last night was us confronting Benson about lying and revealing Oz. Right? That was last night's dinner. Or was that this morning's breakfast? I think it was last night's dinner. Am I wrong?
I lost the thread. What was last night's dinner?
I thought it was either last night's dinner or this morning's breakfast that we confronted Benson about the fact that Oz existed in the manor.
That was... I'm pretty sure we told everyone about Benson today.
Okay.
Or told everyone about Oz today. I don't remember. I don't remember if this morning was also when Benson would have killed himself.
No, that was last night.
That was the morning.
Yeah, because we were supposed to meet him. We were supposed to meet him, and we show up, and he's dead.
Right. Well, it's. I mean, like I mean that you find him in the morning.
Yeah, it wasn't in the morning. We found him at night. And then we had to scramble to take the gun. I'm like a 95% sure of this.
No, you find him in the morning because everyone's waking up in the morning and going down for breakfast, and then they discover Benson. Benson's death is the first thing that happens in the day. Then we rewound to the night before to search for the gun to try to prevent the death. And then having rewound the night before and searched for the gun and ostensibly prevented Benson's death by just calling it out, essentially, we then tried to go to the library, only to get this stupid smartass answer of, not that library, silly. And so, like, that's the timeline here for that stuff. So I think Sal's freezer discovery would have been day 6's morning. And day 7's morning is Benson's death. Or was it today's morning? Was day 7 Sal and day 8 Benson, and then all the pleasant conversations with Benson are the same day that he would have been dead? We've looped enough that it's getting really confusing. I looked at Roswell and flashed him a smile, doing the same to Dean. They looked at one another before shooting me a concerned look.
Well, if you're sure. If you need to talk, though.
Feel free to grab either of us, alright? I nodded to them before they backed off, saying something to one another only once they were close enough to the kitchen that I couldn't hear them. When all was said and done, I headed back to my room. I showered, changed into a fresh set of clothes, almost as if I was dressing to impress. I was nervous. Was this what going on a date was like?
What the fuck? Dave, you're such an idiot. You're so fucking stupid. You're the dumbest person you're this dumbest protagonist in a visual novel. This is the dumbest thing that I've ever heard.
It's like, one, I'm pretty sure he's watching you already, so you can't really, like, first impressions him, but also I'm like, you've graduated high school. Have you not been on a date yet? Like, not even tried one? I would have expected you at least to have like a whoops, I thought I was straight but didn't work out like moment. What an observation. Okay. My phone was in my hand constantly, checking if it was time to head on out. In the back of my mind, I wondered if it was a mistake after all. Was I just about to go marching to my death? Should I back out? As I lay on my bed, waiting, all I could think of was if I'd survive the night and see my friends again in the morning. Not just my friends, but also, well... I sighed out a shuddered breath, wiping the corners of my eyes. I had to steel myself. I could do this. And then it was time. Carefully, I left my room, checking if the coast was clear. I figured I should bring my flashlight. I wasn't sure if... well... the batteries were still good. I should have asked Benson for some new ones. With how dark the library was, especially at night, I was going to need more than just my phone's torch mode. Slipping into the conservatory, I took another look around. No one else was here. No one else was wandering around. I was free to continue on undisturbed. Looking at the bookcase, I remembered Haas's warning from before, patting my pocket to make sure I had my phone. There was no telling what could happen, so I wanted to be prepared. Did they confirm that they have cell service in there? Because I feel like that's the type of room that might not have cell service.
Yeah, I don't know.
Had like, didn't it have like stone ceilings? Okay, Dave, you can do this. Time to meet Oz. Like, on my college campus, there was it was specifically it was a building I only visited when I was taking my Norse mythology classes, but there was this interesting, weird building that had, like, it was like, you had to walk through its inner hall, and it was like a super tall, echoey stone corridor that had, like fossil-looking shit, like, inlaid in the walls and stuff. Like, it was, like, a very ornamental building that then just led to some pretty normal classrooms, ultimately. But very noticeably, your phone just didn't work the moment you walked in that room. Like, yeah. When you very clearly had cell service throughout the campus. Because this building was just antithetical to... It was not future-proofed.
Yeah.
Time to meet Oz. We'll just see how deep this rabbit hole goes. What species do you think Oz is? They wouldn't make him a rabbit, would they? A white rabbit?
I hope not.
Oswald Hammond, a white rabbit.
If he's related to Roswell's family, and I don't know if it's been said that he is or not, but like if this is how he has a connection to this place, then like maybe.
Yeah, we know that his family somehow has access to this place, but it's been left completely ambiguous.
Yeah.
Roswell is not like anyone I've ever met where they would be all excited to share the connection and what's going on and explain what's the story here. Instead, he's like, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, we've got nothing else. The two books I needed to pull to open the passage look a lot more obvious now that I knew which ones they were. What are they? What do they look like? What color are they? Are they like certain types of books? Do they stand out? I wish, just give me like a doofy, like funny, like I get it. They're like themed around like, it's like escape rooms. Like the fucking like the books that solve the puzzle would be like thematic. They'd be like a joke in the title about what they function as and so on for a secret passage. I'm like, tell me what they are. Once I'd pulled them, I heard the click and gently pushed the bookcase aside. It was heavy and moved aside slowly. But I pushed it just enough to clear the gap and enter the dark corridor. I stood there in the dark for a couple moments, bracing myself. It was a heavy darkness, different from the one I'm used to, but it felt similar all the same. Putting on my flashlight, I wandered forward, keeping it trained low in case there was anything on the ground I could potentially trip on. As I entered the library, I looked down to the lowest floor. The candles on the desk were lit, signaling that someone else had been there recently, if they weren't still here. Down the stairs, I wandered over to the desk, keeping my eyes peeled for anyone lingering just out of sight. But I was going to get jumped. I realized I was thoroughly unprepared to fend off an attack. Hello? I flicked the beam of my flashlight around, trying to catch a glimpse of literally anyone else. As the light landed on the vault-like door, I froze, watching as it opened with a low, metallic creak. My throat was suddenly dry, making me gulp. There was a pit in my stomach, growing now. A lingering dread, or a worry that something was about to go wrong. Roswell's joke from days ago echoing through my mind again. Oz? Is that you? A darkness lingered on the other side of the door, to the point where I wondered if my flashlight was broken. I edged forward, legs shaking, reaching towards the threshold of the door before a shadow moved, making me squeak and drop my flashlight. Oh no, oh no, no. Please, don't kill me.
Dave!
I almost shrieked, keeping my eyes closed and arms up to protect my head and face. I heard something shuffling around near me before I felt the butt of my flashlight nudge me.
Take your flashlight, boy!
I carefully opened my eyes, taking the flashlight back and lifting it to illuminate who was speaking to me.
Yeah,
it's a dad!
He's a boar, okay.
This is what old people look like in this setting.
So he must be related to Roswell then. I guess that was right.
Yeah, all the colors match.
Does that mean Roswell's last name is whatever the name of this place is? I can't remember. Hammond.
Depends on which side of the family, I guess.
Yeah.
Oswald Hammond. He's got a tusk ring.
Are those just braces?
I think it's just ornamental. With how unuseful those kinds of teeth are. Well, maybe I'll pierce it, and maybe I'll put a ring on it.
Have a seat. I'm sure you have some questions.
I don't trust this guy. You notice that? Have you noticed that the two people that actually live here don't have forward-facing sprites, and everyone else does?
Yeah.
Like, it sets them apart in a specific way. Are you,
Very well. Allow me to introduce myself.
Not gonna lie, I didn't think he'd be like I don't know how do you put it, like I thought he was gonna be like a husk or something, or like an artificial hybrid or some kind of like it's like the reason why Hammond can't come to you is because he's like this fucking android with like external like cybernetic organs tied up in the corner over here, like he doesn't leave this part of the house.
Yeah. My name is Oswin Hammond, youngest of the 3 Hammond siblings, but you may know me as Oz.
Every example that came to mind was spoilers, so I couldn't say any of them. I searched the older boar's face, curious, questions running through my head. Oswin wandered over to the side of the desk closest to the candles, sitting down. Oh, nice to meet you. I
know, Dave. Sit down.
I sat in the chair opposite him, eyes flicking across the candles before looking him in the eye.
I'm sure you have many questions, most of which I'll answer for you soon. We'll get the obvious ones out of the way first.
Okay.
After that, you can ask me whatever you like freely. But I'll tell you now that I'm not going to waste my time answering inane questions that are irrelevant to what's going on. Understood?
Oh, wow, because your time is so precious after putting this off for 2 days straight. Yes, sir.
Furthermore, it behooves me to tell you the truth where I can, but understand that I too have my secrets. Seem fair?
No, fuck you. We're in a death game.
This is stupid.
Yeah.
We could all leave. We can all literally leave.
I don't care about your secrets. You're telling me someone's gonna die. Tell me everything, prick. What if you're the bad guy?
What do you mean?
Well, if you don't tell me everything, then who's to say you aren't just, you know, making me trust you so you can kill me later? The question hung in the air for a moment. Oswin's gaze focused on me.
Boy, if I wanted you dead, you'd have been disposed of a long time ago. There's less sense in warning you of dangers and alike if I myself am the one behind the death of your friends. Oh, that's a common misdirect. That's literally how you sow chaos, is you misdirect with information that seems truthful and helpful. You are such... This is dumb. This is so dumb. Leave. Just leave the mansion. You'll be fine.
It is just a very common response to be like, if I was the bad guy, you would have died already, so it's self-proving. I guess that makes sense. No, it could just mean he has a plan. Like, you're useful for something, like he wants to do something besides just kill you. Which is worse, probably.
Now, where to begin?
Sorry, but can I ask something real quick?
What is it?
Why are you wearing a lab coat? Are you a doctor? Doctors always wear lab coats, right? Like, at home?
I just said I wasn't going to respond to inane questions, but sure, let me give you my backstory. I was once upon a time. Not anymore.
What happened?
That, in and of itself, is a long story. As much as I love stories, that one isn't like one of the child-friendly ones I'm so fond of. That is an insane thing to say, especially after you just established that things being irrelevant to this case are not things you will talk about, my friend.
That was a weirdly long... That sentence went places. Huh. You could have just said we don't have time for that, but he said that specifically. Like, I love child-friendly stories. That's not a child-friendly story, I say, as an adult, talking to an adult in a death game. Oh.
My area of expertise and speciality was pharmaceuticals and drug development. Testing. In other words, I developed vaccines. Literally, none of those things are mutually exclusive. What?
That sounds good? Why'd you give it up?
My license was revoked when a test went bad. Of 100 subjects, 99 died.
Oh. Yeah. Maybe you should be tried for war crimes. Jesus Christ.
I have a theory now that the one that survived is Roswell, and that's why he keeps mysteriously dying after the fact.
I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, he clearly skipped like 100 ethical steps, and one person died for every step he skipped. Like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, that would end your career probably. I tensed up, not wanting to ask what I was thinking. Sadly, Oswin seemed to know exactly where my head was, and I paled when he told me.
Ridiculously small for a proper clinical trial, but for what we were testing, it was hardly legal. Because of my arrogance, I'm responsible for all 99 of those deaths. All children, too. Yep, definitely Roswell.
Okay.
Definitely Roswell's the one survivor.
It's 100% Roswell. Either Roswell's the one survivor, or it was a thing done to try to, like, cure Roswell of whatever keeps killing him in all the endings that we haven't been told about. It's like, this is the... I can see telegraphing. I know what's up. Well, we injected them all with arsenic, and 99 of them died, and then the last one became Arsenic Man. He sprouted superpowers and 4 more limbs.
Don't worry about it, Dave. I don't know, that seems pretty fucking relevant, buddy. Fuck you.
a little worried. I'm a little concerned. I'm also interested in the fact that he was like, I'm not going to talk about irrelevant things, so we need to get to the case at hand. Here's my horrifying backstory that you should be super alarmed by and is going to be very distracting and dominate your thought process now, is that I killed 99 children. So anyway, back to the conversation we were having, where we're gonna
about how I'm not the bad guy and you should trust me.
We're just gonna power through and keep talking after that. Like, for all the times that Sal or someone's like, we'll get back to this tomorrow. The I killed 99 children thing is a bit of a distraction that might actually demand, like, readdressing this later when we process what the fuck you just told me. What was the medicine you were testing?
Cure-all vaccine. A miracle elixir for everything and anything. Cancer, organ failure, HIV, you name it. Probably some of my best work.
How? Everyone died.
Also, all of those things are completely different attack vectors.
Yes.
That's not how that works.
No, that's not how anything even slightly works. You can't just be like, I invented the pathologic 2 panacea. It was easy. It's my best work. It killed 99% of its users. It's like, almost every single, all of those are different ailments that come from completely different causes and reasons, and the treatments for many of them have a different toll on your health, and you would not want to take a cocktail that tries to cure every potential thing, including the stuff you don't have. Like, you don't it's like
also I just want to say a vaccine doesn't cure by definition, it prevents.
Yes, also that. Yes, a vaccine is preventative, not curative. That's not what it's for. And also, I don't think you can vaccine cancer. I don't know if that can work that way. I'd love to have an HIV vaccine. Let's go.
We're pretty close to that.
It's standing very close to happening, which is great. There's a lot to process here. Can't. It's like they go, oh, you've got a throat cold? Here's chemo. My cure all. But how can you call it some of your best work if during the trials for even testing it, 99% of people died? It's an insane statement just to hit somebody
chuckling
with.
At the implication here that Roswell has super AIDS cancer.
Yeah, they did just introduce HIV to the conversation. I want Dave to make me proud here, and just with his high school education, understand how insane everything Oswin just said to him was, and immediately be like, okay, I'm not talking to this guy ever again. We need to leave. We're all in danger. Oswin's gaze narrowed on me slightly, making me go quiet before I could continue.
But it didn't work.
We gathered that from all the dead children. How did you manage to be worse than the fucking autism vaccine guy? Not the vaccine for autism, I mean like the guy that's fear-mongered about vaccines and like it injured several children in the process.
I botched my calculations along the way and created something quite fatal instead. Uh-huh.
Yep.
Because that's how you get through all of the peer review stages and all of the other testing stages to get to humanoid testing.
You skip all the steps and then you illegally experiment on 100 children. That's a lot. So, if you were a doctor, what do you do now? I'm on the run from the law for killing 99 children.
Nothing. I've enjoying children's stories and reading up on mycology. Mushrooms. Roswell. I live comfortably doing whatever I feel like, which admittedly is very little.
Yes, it's like the boars like mushrooms, but Can't believe Dave picked up 2 books in total, and one of them was about mycology, and the other one was the blueprints to the entire mansion. The entire library he was in. Oh. But why do you still wear the coat then? Do you still do experiments and stuff? That seemed to hit a nerve, with Osmond's gaze narrowing slightly.
Funnily enough, yes, I do. My lab is still in the house, hidden away given what's in there. Chemicals and poisons that are kept securely away from easy access, not to mention some samples of diseases and bacteria for development purposes. This is obviously highly illegal, but that's like Interpol level illegal. Stealing, like, that stuff is like some of the most lock and key kept things in the world. Governments prevent access to these things. Like deadly diseases and stuff, you are not allowed to take those, transport them anywhere. They're some of the most locked down things in the world.
So he's just, like, wildly a criminal.
Yeah, if it turns out that this isn't, like, literally a vast global conspiracy, then it's a little bit sus.
He seems to just be a Batman villain. Just a Batman villain with almost none of the potential, like, successes to inform any of his behavior. Just killed 99 children in pursuit of the perfect vaccine, you know.
Killed 99 children. Killed 99 children, then just slipped some smallpox into my back pocket and walked right out. It's fine.
He just, like, snuck off.
I got disbarred. Not tried, not jailed, just disbarred. You know, it's whatever.
I'm a big fan of the movie Contagion. I thought I'd stage a reenactment. I shifted uneasily in my chair. The boar opposite me had poisons and chemicals just around. Is this Radical 6? Is this what happened to Earth?
I also have a bunch of Ice 9 for unrelated reasons.
No! The prospect of having poisons around was scary. Or even having diseases on hand, just ready to go. If he was telling the truth, he could infect us with something really nasty if he really wanted to.
We're getting off track.
That's too late for that, Osmond. You can't just, like, JK, we're not continuing that conversation. We went too deep. It's too evocative and upsetting. That's going to be the only thing I can think about. It only got worse? What the... Okay, sorry. I'm such a bottom.
Let's discuss the vault itself. The 3 of us made it. My older brother, may he rest in peace, myself, and my older sister.
But what is it?
It is what its name suggests, a storing place, although truthfully it's closer to a containment unit.
There's something inside? What's in there? Benson apparently is giving us the code to open it if we found all the metals.
Why, yes. Father's old collection of meadow.
It's...
Metals.
This is becoming...
I read that as meadow. I was confused.
I don't know why you read it as meadow.
It was just the way it was... the way I just looked at it, I guess.
The fact that we're paired off into teams that change from attempt to attempt at the game, and you're collecting a series of things that you need to open a big door in a game that has, like, diseases at play and there's a mastermind controlling it all. I'm like, okay. I get how this game happened. I know exactly what happened because it's exactly what happened to me, which is that I played the fucking Zero Escape games and I was like, in my case, I was like, these games are a nightmare. They're upsetting. They're a mess. I kind of want to make one. I could, like, it's an idea that's fun enough that you're like, I could riff on this. I could, like, maybe make this comprehensible. That'd be fun.
I'm not at liberty to say what's in there, and I have no intention of telling you anyway. All I can promise is that while not dangerous, it would be best if that door were never opened.
Then why is there a game to open it? You guys did that on your own, didn't you? I frowned, confused as to what he meant. As I pondered it over, I noticed him walking me through it with a slight smirk. I pouted, mumbling to myself. Couldn't be that bad.
Perhaps, or it could be something that could end the world as we know it.
Okay. Why are we here?
Yeah.
What the fuck is happening? Okay, but it just holds a thing, right? Yes, but until we open it, we don't know whether or not all ice is in there or not. Could be a red herring.
Correct.
Or there could be an Ice 9 mummy.
Correct. There is an Ice 9 mummy.
But then, why, when I use it...
Ah, that. I was getting to that. It was never intended to just be a quarantined room, but more an attempt at something more. A collective effort to make the world better. My older siblings were more keen on designing and theorizing about it. Speculating was something more they dabbled in, when I'd much rather have something more quantifiable.
But how is I going to change the world for the better?
Morphic resonance. Yep. Yep, it's Zeroscape. Cool. Cool, this is what we signed up for. Slightly less proofread Zeroscape. Let's go. Let's go. Yay. Is Andrew available? Can we call Andrew in?
I wasn't ready for him to come out and say it. I didn't think he would actually add in a little nod to morphogenetic fields with morphic. We were like, we had resonance obviously already, but that was a new word technically. I was not ready for morphic to join it. Okay. We just gotta go play that one where everyone has mechanical animal masks that I think is also inspired by Zeroscape, and then after all of those, I'll then combine them all into the visual novel that is somehow all of them at once. Just Tarantino it. The blank stare I gave him in return must have disappointed him, stopping him from getting revved up about the tangent he was about to go on.
Put another way, making a better use of the inherent survival instinct instilled in every living being on the planet.
But I haven't seen myself die, Just
what?
Sal was in the freezer, frozen, but...
But what?
He was sleepwalking, so someone told him to go there.
Someone?
Orlando and I, well...
Speak, Dave. We're getting nowhere if you stay quiet.
Apparently someone's been talking to him, using the name Hypnos. Thank you for giving me the password to your friend.
As one that chose to use a false name, I can understand that I'd come under suspicion.
Right.
It's not really a false name. No, you literally just gave him your nickname. What? This is me being like, I am the mastermind, but it would be too dangerous for me to reveal my identity. So you may call me...
Toast.
It's just like, okay. All right. And what code did you put into the keypad?
Dreamer. And then for Benson, Oswin tensed up, rolling his shoulders briefly as I trailed off.
Go on.
You seem to have caught the anime ellipses disease. You're talking to me the way that the average 50-year-old texts. Have you experienced that phenomenon where...
My dad does it. Every single sentence ends with 3 periods. Yeah, it's awful.
My dad would type, and every single fucking thing he said wasn't not even sentences. It was just a series of phrases and like just thoughts, just strung together by ellipses over and over again. So that the entire sometimes it'd be like an entire like character limit length text message that's just like a run-on ellipses dream. I don't know why. I don't know how they'll learn that. Shot, but it didn't seem right. I used the word betrayal for that one. But if this was meant to be a thing for my survival instinct, why haven't I seen myself?
Perhaps I wasn't clear. The theory was that it'd rely on morphic resonance, but, well, you've seen how that works.
Have I been in danger?
This is not a question, Dave. This is not a question. You know you're in danger. In fact, you even said it once. You were explicitly in danger. All of your friends are being killed. You're watching them die. You know that it's dangerous. What do you mean, are you in danger?
Well, he hasn't been killed in any timeline by a dragon drive-by, so... Checkmate, atheists.
Indirectly, the concept revolves around trauma, survivors using traumatic experiences to have different behaviors in similar situations moving forward. While you've not been in danger as such, you've suffered through these events.
But they never happened.
As Reginald would say, not this time around.
I don't get it. Listen, I've got this trilogy of games you could play. Just binge this. It's your anime homework, and then you'll be caught up in genre savvy with what you're dealing with.
Nor do I expect you to. It's a load of rubbish to me, to be frank. Timelines, alternate realities, rubbish. Even though that's exactly what we're doing. Fuck you, dude. Fuck this guy. I fucking hate him already.
Why?
All of Roswell's family should just be put into space and like sent off in a rocket so that they never need to involve or be involved with this plot ever again. They're all dumb.
Controversial take. Brave hot takes from Toaster not liking the child murderer.
All of these characters suck and I hate them, but I hate these two especially.
I don't understand. I'm sorry.
It's for once, Dave, this is not your fault. He actually just sucks at explaining.
Yeah. I'm here to explain the plot of the game, but also I don't believe in it. I think it's stupid anyway. You shouldn't listen to me. Alright. Well, glad we met up. Glad you put this off for days straight to explain a thing you don't believe in or something. Whatever your plan is. With a sigh, Oswin took a moment to collect his thoughts before he explained.
The reason the vault showed you those things, and again consider this is all just theory and hypothesis, is because you've lived through these experiences before in another lifetime, perhaps. Those words must have some significance to how you lived through those experiences, how those events shaped your life after they happened. Along with a sound played at the right frequency, it's supposed to trigger the reaction, but therein lies the problem.
There seems to be a lot of problems, I think. I got 99 problems, but they're all dead children.
Agreed, but I'll state the specific one. It's the only person present that knows how the systems behind the vault operate. I'm the only one that can program those passwords in. And I assure you, I've only programmed 2, neither of which I'll tell you, as they're codes for the door itself to open, plus something else.
What are they? But that's...
But what?
I stared at him. I started at him, dumbfounded. But that's impossible. How else would the words get in there?
And farting at the same time, by the way, for everyone wondering.
No.
That's what just happened.
I started. You just make loving eye contact and then just...
and all he can do is just... yeah. Oops. It's the only thought coming out of Dave. That's all he's got.
Started is just when you put your hand up like, hold on, listen, and then you just fart. The question hung in the air without an answer for a while before Osmond replied, his tone quiet and uncertain.
I don't know.
Oh. Hi.
Oh, I thought he was just standing around the whole time, but I guess we're at a desk now.
No, he said that he sat down next to all the candles on the desk, but
gotcha.
They took till now to show it, I guess. You would kind of you would think that you would either show the CG when that line said that that's where he was, or move that line to now when the CG's about to happen.
I don't think he... Did his sprite have any other facial expressions this whole time? Because if not, then yeah, they should just show this CG that whole time.
Yes.
I guess his eyebrows moved.
He's been moving a little bit.
I don't know. I don't know if I would call that meaningful.
Yeah, no, they did say a line that said he moved here, but it was a while ago.
Now, I think it's your turn, Dave.
Oswald's voice was lowered, taking on an air of seriousness.
Because he wasn't serious so far.
Yeah. What part? Wait, yeah, what? While he was very no-nonsense before, I felt the tone of this conversation get heavy from how he poised himself. Heavy from what? The part where you're in a death game, or the part where 99 people died already?
This is part of what I was talking about when I said this game has a bad idea, has like a bad balance of showing and telling, where it's like, there are so many times in the game where the game needs to communicate better how characters are feeling and what is going on, and like, you know, giving us moments where like expressions shift on a character's face and like letting us infer what the tone is from that. This was not one of them. We knew this conversation was serious this whole time. So the fact that the game chooses this particular point to be like, now it got serious, I'm telling you this explicitly as a character, is just like, bro, I know. Like, I know it's serious. This is, you communicated it. So it's like weirdly, it communicated the stakes well for a moment, and then just reneged on the good writing it had to communicate those stakes. By then clarifying, like, by the way, if you haven't noticed, it's pretty serious now. It's like, God, have some confidence in your writing, please.
I don't know, sometimes it just feels like they have very long conversations they write out, and then they lose the flow, or maybe they wrote them non-linearly, or they went back and changed parts of them in different drafts or something. So what I'm looking at here feels reminiscent of what happened with Roswell, in that the very long Roswell argument started looping on itself and repeating the same ideas, and then seemingly resetting as if it was almost like it was a different draft of a different argument, of like a different version of the scene that then played back to back, like a deleted scene and played in the middle of the movie, because it just retreaded the same ground and restarted the same argument and looped. And like like, and yes, like, people in real life are not fully rational, and arguments are frustrating and like that in some ways,
cyclical and stuff.
But in the game, it looped as if the previous conversation hadn't happened at all, essentially, and it was very disorienting in a way that isn't usually true of writing. And here we talked about a vault that, if it opens, might end the world. We talked about the fact that we're dimension hopping because people keep dying in different timelines, and we talked about an illegal drug trial that killed 99 people, children. And then you have a scene where it introduces the CG, and he's like, and now the conversation's getting serious and heavy, and I'm like, wait, this is literally been exclusively the heaviest conversation so far, period, in this game. Like, this entire conversation has been a massive escalation compared to the rest of the entire narrative in terms of stakes and dark tone and so on. Like, up until now, the darkest thing that's happened is random murders that happened off cameras with no known motive and bullying. So I'm just like, a moment like this just it seems misplaced. Like, it 100% makes sense for him to get serious, but it feels like he should have gotten serious when we pressed him about why he's not a doctor anymore. Yeah. Like this, and we should have had this line and this CG all the way back then, which then would require the two of them making some kind of small talk beforehand to, in some way, sell the idea that it wasn't serious before, because the children dying was the first topic.
yeah, like, so the way that like the structure would have made more sense is if he said Osmond's voice was lowered, taking on an air of seriousness while he was no nonsense before, I felt the tone of the conversation get heavy from how he poised himself. I was disbarred for running a thing that killed 99 children. You know, like doing that creates a scene, whereas this is just trying to summarize a scene and a tone change that we're already here for. Like,
meanwhile, like I already see how to rearrange it and how to make this not be a confusing line. Because if this did precede everything getting serious, they've already done multiple tell, don't, and not show moments where they keep reminding us that apparently he likes children's stories.
Yep.
Like, so the go-to way of handling this kind of scene would be that when they first meet, they have some small talk, and then he kind of like whimsically, he's like, "Have you ever heard about the boar and the snake or whatever the fuck?" And he hangs out and tells this little story that might even be analogous to stuff that's going to happen later in the game. It's like foreshadowing. So the scene could be accomplishing multiple things at once. Like, it could be foreshadowing future events, or it could be thematic in some way to what's going on in the game. But it would be like this, like, what's going on? He's hitting me with like this weird little like children's story. It's like the fucking like, it's like that weird cold open to Deathly Hallows where there's like a CG narrated thing that's a format break from the rest of the entire Harry Potter movie series and so on. Like, that kind of like thing would be like, it would be characterization for him. It would somewhat set him up as being like these old genius scientist type mastermind characters in a lot of these narratives are often like a little strange, and they'll be like, it's the Infringe, the old man that has a dark past but then had some kind of emotional and memory break. It isn't the same person quite anymore. Just really has this quirk with candy all the time, like that kind of thing. So you could set up his quirk with the children's stories by actually introducing it instead of just saying several times that he likes children's stories without it coming up. Because it's way, like, as strange as it might feel to have him just break into a children's story and for an analog, it's way weirder for him to just keep telling people he likes children's stories. That's weird behavior. People don't tend to just pepper in left and right in the middle of unrelated conversations their unrelated interests, especially when it's like that kind of quirk that you could introduce by showing it to us. And that would give the conversation a tone shift that you could then signify with this scene and this line, which would make sense because you've pushed him to tell you why he's not a doctor anymore, and 99 children died. So that would be a fitting thing to tell us with this visual. Anyway, we're going a little heavy on it, but I'm just like, I could just see it. I could just see it right there, how to just like shift this scene around and make it work.
I want to be... I just want to be upfront about this. Is that like... It's one thing, I think, to go hard on a story and to criticize it.
I'm sorry, but just like one thing. He's not even about to say something heavy. He got super serious now for the first time, or like not for the first time because I said he was no some nonsense before, but like now he's very heavy and poised. But what he's actually doing is just waiting for us to ask a question.
I've said what I need to say. If you have any questions, I'm all ears.
Yeah,
sure, dude.
That transition doesn't make sense. I don't know
why.
We're
going to be serious now. It's just dumb.
What could we even possibly ask that's heavier? Because all of the things that are mostly related to what's come up so far were already discussed.
It's game time now. Time for you to ask questions. So the reason why I bring this up though is just because, like, to be upfront about it, like, I want to be buying into this story. I want to be enjoying this. We spend hours a week reading it and playing it and trying to get to the core of what this is trying to communicate. And it's just frustrating to see it stumble like this. And if we're going to be covering it, then we may as well give the constructive criticism that we can. And that's I think the reason why I'm bringing it up, especially in cases like this, where fixing a scene like this is really just a matter of reorganizing things, you know? It's not saying that this person like can't write or anything like that. It's just saying like the way that it's trying to communicate is clear, but it's ineffective. And I think that's an important thing to point out. So that's why I'm bringing it up. Anyway, I guess it's time for us to ask questions, which will definitely be very serious.
Yeah, but we'll do that next episode because this is a long one. But this is a we'll see if the questions can in any way justify the tone shift of this transition.